All right. So, welcome back to another episode of the Audacity of Us podcast. I'm Tasia.
And I'm Monique.
All right. So, today we're going to be talking about something that's very triggering. So, caution
And
yourself.
it, and it's real, and it's something that some people deal with every day or every other day. I mean, actually, it's seconds and minutes, to be honest. So, and the topic is the audacity of toxic relationships and why we stay. So that's abuse, anything of that nature. And do you want to take the first part?
Um, I hate this topic. And the reason why I hate this topic is because a lot of people feel like abuse is just physical, when like the worst abuse is mental. You fuck up a person's mind, there's not a person left, really. Um, so this topic is going to be a little touch and go, very triggering for me. I haven't had have hands put on me, but I had somebody psychologically, fuck me up for a while. But I don't even know how to start this. It's very uncomfortable. Mo, you're gonna have to help me.
Well, I can say I have had the physical abuse. Um, Yeah, I would just say that. And it's something that I did not deal with for a long time because once it happened, I knew that I knew I didn't want to. That's not what I have women in my family, very strong women in my family. And I knew that that was something that I never thought I would go through. And we say that, like, you'll say, if this happens to me, I'm gonna leave. Like, this is not happening to me. But you don't know unless you've actually been in that situation or you've been through it. So now I refrain from asking, well, why didn't you leave? Or why couldn't you leave? Some people just can't, or they don't have the means, or they don't have the what I don't even know what I'm trying to say. They don't have that willpower, But for myself, I just knew that that wasn't the life that I wanted for myself or for my children. So I did remove myself from the situation. And that's all I'm going to say about that. I removed myself, and believe me, this was over 20 years ago, probably longer than that. So it wasn't nothing that was a long time ago. I mean, nothing that was recent, because now I'm calling the police on your ass. And I'm just saying
Listen,
that. Like, you're not putting your hands on me.
we
You're not
know
even
better
gonna
now.
talk to me crazy.
When you
But
know
yeah,
better.
but it is a touchy topic. And the first question people ask when somebody's been abused, why you didn't leave? Why couldn't you leave? Or why didn't you say? And I think people need to be mindful of saying that to people because, like you said, you don't know the trauma or the capacity of somebody's mind is at, and they probably couldn't. I've known people that then died from this. I had a cousin; her husband killed her, in front of their kids. So, but I'm not gonna touch on that. So we have to be mindful of things like that. And before you go into anything, I'm gonna say, even when it comes to, like, people need to take accountability too. You can't play victim and all that when you have to take accountability because you stayed. And then it's like, what's the difference now? Like, you left, you know and
What
I
do you
see you
mean?
looking at me like that. So, like, if, like, enticing somebody, because some people, it can be a trigger for some people. Like me, when I was in that relationship, it was things that I did or said that I probably didn't have to, but at the same time, it's kind of like, I'm gonna say it anyway, even though I know it pisses you off, because I'm trying to piss you off.
Can I say that a physical touch and words that hurt are two different things? So even if you say
I believe,
something that could be provoking to someone else, it still doesn't allow them the right to put their hands on you.
but if you're physically with, so if I hit someone and keep on doing it, that's not okay. Because
Now,
if
if you
he's walking away and I hit him, then he has right to hit me back. But as a man, you should leave. But if I keep on hitting you, which, no, I don't put my hands on anybody, but if I keep on hitting you, and I've seen women out in public that be like calling their men bitches and pussies and like I know those words you shouldn't do that based off of words, but damn, somebody can only take so much of that. And I'm
I
not saying it's okay for any man to put their hands on a woman. I'm not saying it's okay, but we both have sons. And I'm gonna tell and I tell my son, if you're in a relationship and she physically does something to you, you tell her don't do that. But if she continue to hit you, push her ass, but don't push her to where she's gonna hurt herself. Because how can you? I mean, what are we supposed to do? Because we know how women are. We a woman.
I respectfully I respectfully disagree with that. And the reason why I say that is because one, let me take a step back. I want to take a step back to all the way when we said when you're asking a woman a question of why didn't you leave? We understand already that when trauma happens, it changes your personality, it changes who you are. So you're not yourself in that moment. And if you were healthy and had a healthy mind, I think that you would choose better because you would know better. But in a situation like that, it's not just that easy to get up and move away from something like that. There's a lot of reasons why women stay. Moving towards your son, I respect what you tell him. I ain't even saying it's wrong because women should be held accountable. Don't put yourself in a position where you can get hit by anybody, man or woman. But at the same time, for my son personally, if he's in a situation where there's a woman who is in his face, all up in his face, putting hands on him, that's when you leave. There is no pushing
But
her
that's what I
back.
said. I said if he's trying to leave, but if she is hitting him, you how can you leave if somebody is just hitting you and she's hitting you?
Yeah, you can move her out the way and call your mama or your sisters because we rolling up. But yeah,
See,
don't put hands on me.
don't call me.
But
You better
call
call the
me.
police.
We
Call the
all
police.
grown at this point.
Because sometimes when people, but I mean, I get that, but when people are put in certain situations, that's why I don't want nobody calling me for that. Call the police because it's sometimes when you put yourself in situations, you don't want to be getting hurt, and I don't want to be put. I'm a big firm believer of that. Like that's why it's hard for me to intervene in somebody else's stuff because I just know how sometimes it ends, and I'm not gonna be. I'm
It's,
sorry. Well, Monique died for saving somebody. I no,
I get that.
no.
I get that because I tell my kids all the time, I'll die for y'all. I won't die because of y'all. And me and you, we disagree on that.
I love that. I love that. I love
But
that.
at the same time, like if it's my son and she putting hands on you, the police nine times out of 10, depending on what color the girl is, he bringing home. Let's just throw that out there because if it's a white girl, he don't need to call the police because it's done for him. But if it's a black girl, yeah, go ahead, call the police, but also call me and your sisters. When somebody
And
needs to go
videotape it. Have get your camera out. Get your camera out
because it's
because
always
I'm
her way.
just not. Yeah, I'm like, and if it's but my thing is, if our sons are in that type of relationship, that's not the first encounter. When you seen this shit went south the first time, whether if it was verbally towards each other, you need to leave it because I'm a firm believer now that we can use our words. We don't have to always yell and cuss and scream at each other. If it gets to that point, I don't want to be with you no more because we should never as adults get to that point where we're yelling, cussing out each other. I don't want to do that. Like we can have disagreements, but if our kids are in that relationship, even for our daughters, you may like, and it goes back to what make us stay. Like I didn't know, I didn't want my kids to make that it was okay to stay with somebody, even though you love them, that it's okay to stay with somebody that's abused you because he doesn't love you if he can put his hands on you. Like that's not love. And that's the
And
first thing that we do is stay because somebody love us.
that's why accountability is also very important because on the other spectrum of that, it's like if your son is in a situation that he feels it's okay for another woman to be verbally or physically abusive to him, sometimes you got to take a step back and be like, well, damn, what did he see in our home? Why does he think this is okay? And how did I react to this to where he thinks that, it's okay to stick around for that. But if he didn't see that in our home, then okay, that's when other conversations need to be had. But like
Mhm.
a lot of the times, because we are our kids' first teachers, we're teaching them that this shit is cool because we stick around for it. But they don't realize that the reason why we're sticking is not because we don't want to, or not because we do want to. It's because in our mind, like we're beaten down so bad to where we feel like we have no other choice but to stay there. It's
Especially
just
if you're used to certain things too, like with bills, people stay because they can't afford to be on their own. Or we've seen it so much that women, like their husband is the breadwinners and they don't have to work. And you look at that, but at the same time, or people stay together because of their kids. Like, no, you actually messing your kids up when you stay somewhere and you know that's not okay, never to be treated, or like you said with verbal, you said that you didn't have physical, but it was verbal. And to me, verbal abuse is worse than physical abuse, because people words or wild. Like, you can say something to somebody and that sticks with them forever. Yeah, you hit me. Yeah, but words, you thought of those words to tell me, so that messes people up.
and with my situation, it surpassed words. Like my ex-husband is the one that I dealt with this with. And he would say words and yeah, it would hurt, but then I got to a point where I developed thick skin and certain things didn't hurt me no more because I'm used to hearing it. So when he realized that like I'm no longer reacting to that, he would do things like get up in my face and buck up to me like he gonna hit me. He
Mhm.
never hit me, but for some reason, after so many times, I was always like, this is the time that he's gonna hit me. Every time, never hit me,
Mhm.
but it fucked me up so much so that like now I'm afraid to stay in the same house with this person that I live with, that I'm married to. Like to
Mhm.
the point where we even separated our rooms. I went and moved in a whole different room in our home for like 6 months before I left him.
Oh, wow.
And eventually he got drunk one day and he was arguing with me over the fact that I came into the bedroom. I was coming in there to get some night clothes. I was about to take a shower, go to sleep. I came into our room to get some pajamas, and he told me to get out the room. And I was like, I'm coming in here to get some clothes. And he slammed the door in my face. I opened it back up. He was like, don't open this door no more. Mind you, this is our marital bedroom.
Mhm.
I opened the door again. He pulled out a gun and cocked it. My
Oh my
kids were on
gosh.
My kids were on the bed. They both had headphones in. They were looking down at their iPads. They didn't hear nothing. They didn't see anything. And that was the last straw.
Was that your moment to where you was like, because we always got that moment to where we like, fuck this. I am gone.
That was the
I
moment.
am gone.
So what I did was I called my girls up from downstairs because their room was downstairs. I didn't tell them what happened. I said, call the police. I told one to call the police and I told the other one to call his sister because I needed witnesses. And I
Hmm.
needed for his side of the family to know that it wasn't me.
Hmm.
Um, And so when I called the police, even still, he was the one who pulled a gun out on me, but I'm the one begging the police officers not to shoot him when they come in the house. I
Hmm.
protected him. Also, when they asked me if I wanted to press charges, I said no, I didn't want him locked up. Because of what my son looked like when the police got there. I looked in my son's face and I was just like, no, just send him away from the house for the night so he can sober up.
Hmm.
And so after that, I took his gun to the police station. I was like, I don't trust him here with this gun. I need it out of my house. The police officers was like, unless you tell me this is your gun and you purchased it, I can't take this from you. And I was like, well, damn, it
Are
ain't.
you kidding me?
I was like, well, damn, I can't
Wow.
give it to y'all then. And then the police officer looked me in my face and he was like, are you afraid for your life? And I said, yes. And he was like, so unless you tell me that you purchased this gun, I can't take it. And at that point, I knew what he was doing. I was like, I purchased it. He was like, okay, give it here. So he took it. I told my daughters when I got back home, I said, he gets up early in the morning to go to work, pack up whatever y'all can fit in a trash bag, and we're going to leave as soon as he leaves. He left at like 4 in the morning. We left at like 4:30 in the morning. Never looked back. So no, abuse is not always physical. There's other things. And even my therapist
Mhm.
at the time was just like, he's leading up to something and he's going to end up killing you.
Right. Right. That's what I was going to say. Yeah, because just that one thing, that was enough for me. Like, that because that could have went another it could have went another way.
In
Because
front
to
of
me, when people are so angry, you don't know what somebody might do. That's why I don't want to never trigger anybody, because I'm like, okay, if you can get this upset, and even for a woman, like if you can get this upset, I don't want to be around you. And I
yeah.
think after I had those experiences, and when I decided to leave was enough for me, when I imagined myself, what made me leave was when he said, one of us is not going to be here to take care of these kids. That stuck with me. That was my triggering word there. So I I'm like, why else would you say that? So yeah, that was enough for me. It wasn't so much of the physical part. I mean, the verbal part. I never really did the verbal part. It was always the physical, because when we were good, we were good. But yeah, I've never, with that, never experienced the verbal. It was more physical. So but that's what made that was my that was my what you told me, one of us was not going to be here to take care of these kids. That's what made me be like, okay, yeah, we're not good for each other.
And it's a good thing that we walked away from that because a lot of
Right.
women don't.
Right. And
Um,
I'm happy that we were fortunate enough to realize that we knew that this wasn't it, and we left. I consider us to be lucky, because we could have not been here to even talk about this today. Like, so I am grateful for that. Like, I'm like, that's emotional.
yeah.
It's kind of like, damn, because I never been on that, on the verbal side when it came to that. Now if somebody get crazy with me, like, you get that one time and it's over, it's a wrap. But in hindsight, it's kind of like, I don't gotta deal with that shit. Like, I didn't have to deal with that. Like,
But that before I get on to the statistics, that's why like I hate to say it this way, but I'm not gonna take that away from my experience. I feel like some people have to go through certain things so they can know what they don't deserve. Because you don't
I agree.
know until you know. And I'm not wishing like domestic violence on anybody, but when you get to a point where like you just want to be loved on, or you have childhood trauma that you have healed from, so you're looking for love from anywhere that it comes from, you have to go through things to know what it is that you should not have to go through.
I agree. I
That's
agree.
it. So you can tell
Yeah,
your
I
kids,
agree.
don't go through this thing. Like I can't tell my daughter, I would I went through what I went through, so I can tell my kids this is what you need to look out for, basically.
And I'm so happy we did that. It was our younger years. So now our 40s, we just live our life. Like, if our 30s, 40, like, we can live. And
Unfortunately, this was 5 years ago for me, so it's still fresh. Still fresh.
20s, I was in my 20s. So yeah, but you still, like you said, you know better, you do better.
Yeah.
And and it's always a tunnel at the end of the light. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, for some people, like I said early on, some people stay because of finances, because of the kids. Like, hell no. Like, absolutely not.
We are going to jump into a little bit of some statistics that I got. So it says Black women experience higher rates of intimate partner violence than white, Hispanic, or Asian women. So it says about 41% of Black women have experienced physical violence, sexual violence, or stalking by an intimate partner in their lifetime. That's interesting.
Oh, wow. That,
So,
yeah. I would have never thought black women. I'm sorry. I would have thought more Caucasian women. That's, I didn't know that.
yeah. Also, for homicide risk, it says Black women are 2.5 times more likely to be murdered by men than white women. That's interesting. It says,
Really?
yeah, it says most of these homicides are committed by current or former intimate partners. I can see that though, because unfortunately, I saw a story today where ugh, yeah, I'll move past that. I don't want to tell nobody else's story, but I see it more often where women are dying at the hands of the men that say they love them. Like, especially in the Black
Hmm.
community, I see it so much, and that's what scares me away from dating. And I know all men are not the same, and all crazies look alike, don't look alike, but
Look different, right?
yeah, they don't look alike. But it's like, man, if I ever needed a reminder to just love on myself and stay single and focus on me and my kids, this right here, this topic that we're doing right now, is it for me.
Mm-hmm. And and I would say I know that there are good men that don't lead to violence, and when
Yeah,
I got to give it to them because I'm sorry, like I've never ever seen my cousin's husband physically, mental, none of it. None. When I tell you none of it, none of it. And they've been around a pretty long time. Like even with their friends, like I've never seen it. Yeah, couples do what works for them. Some couples you got like to cuss at each other, and that's fine. But when it comes to
it's
not
therapeutic.
being right, when it comes to not being supportive, or when it comes to any abuse, toxic stuff, I've never seen it. Never. And that's what kind of gives me hope with
Yes,
marriage, because even with friends, with my family, even shit with people you talk to, like I never heard you say anything negative, so that still gives me hope, and that's where I pull my hope from, because I'm like, shit, there's somebody out there that'll respect me, they ain't gonna put his hands on me,
definitely.
so I know that even people that I have dated throughout the years. I've noticed little. We'll talk to. I've noticed little things that I would never be okay with.
Mhm.
Like one guy, how he treated women waitresses. He was very disrespectful, and I
Yeah,
didn't like that. That was a wrap. Because anytime that you were like, how long would it be before you treat me like that?
because it's so
And
much deeper
then
than her just being a waitress. Like it's
right, like she's a woman, and it was always the woman waitress. Then when I addressed it with him, because like after I seen it the third time when we went to dinner, I was like, "Why are you like that?" And I was like, he said, "Well, I'll do it to a man waitress too." I was like, for you to even have that attitude, and I'm telling you, you got a damn problem.
yeah,
So I don't even want to deal with you, because I don't know when you're gonna. Yeah, you're not like that to me, but it'll be a matter of time before you are like that. But then again, he was a, what do you call it? I don't know.
he was of the Caucasus Mountain.
And he was a no. We just talked about this.
Oh,
A
he's a
north.
narcissist.
Yeah, he's that.
He's a narcissist.
So and so
Oh,
all
hold
that
on, was
was
he
in
white?
that. No, he was black.
Oh, okay, he was just a narcissist.
Yeah.
Okay, so he just
Yeah,
got
he
one
was
strike.
black.
Okay,
He was one. But yeah, so before we continue, we got our questions.
hold on, I want to get through the stats.
Oh, okay.
So it says only 1 in 4 Black women who experience domestic violence seek help from law enforcement.
Mm. I believe that,
I believe it
because
too.
like you said,
Yes,
because we want to protect our black men, we
yes,
kind of like, damn, we don't really want to get them in trouble. But at the same time, you can't put your hands on me.
yes.
Like, so
My
I can get,
situation.
now I believe that. I get that. Now that I can believe. Yeah.
And then it says Black women often stay longer in toxic relationships due to cultural expectations to hold it down, appear strong, or avoid shaming their families. Many have been conditioned to equate endurance with love. Absolutely. Oh, let me
Hmm.
touch this for a second. I just learned something because of a person that I was just dealing with. Well, not just a while back, but I confused loyalty with love. Now, I'm not saying that I did not
Mm.
love him, but Black
Mm.
women have this loyalty to their Black men like none
Hmm. We
other.
do.
And
We do.
yes, and it's like no matter what you do, loyalty looks like what's that saying? That's my man, and I'm gonna stand beside him no matter
Right. Because we
what he
want them,
do.
even with our friends, like we want them to be this person, because if we continue to talk to them and we then said this mean stuff about him, like, well, he's a complete asshole. He this, he this.
Yes,
So we try to hide it, because we like, okay, maybe he's gonna be different. Because we've all done that. Like, well, me, I know
definitely
I have.
100%.
I'm like not gonna share everything because I don't want him to pan out to be this bad person because
Exactly.
I know I'm gonna continue to talk to him.
But and that's the thing, like us as women, and I know this is a whole different topic, but I guess it still goes along with toxic. It's like us as women, we don't want you to look bad. We still, even though you're hurting us, you're beating us down emotionally, we don't want you to look bad, but you still get out here and whisper all these sweet nothings in another woman's ear. Make
Hmm.
her feel good. You don't care about me. But you can hurt me. You can have me at home crying myself to sleep, baby. And I'm
Right.
still like, don't you talk about him. I'll call him a
Right.
no shit, bullshit, piece of shit. You can't. That's
Right. Yeah.
my bullshit, piece of shit. No.
Hmm. Right. Hey, that's how people be. Like, I'm just gonna take whatever happens.
It's so sad. Right. Right. And then it says, let me see. Financial control, like you were saying, because of financial reasons. That's another reason why, women stay in these relationships and they shouldn't.
Now that should have been for the Caucasian community because one thing I can say about us black women now, because them white women, and I'm sorry, but yeah, a lot of them do say the man be sleeping with the secretary and the treasurer, and I like, and the white woman because they don't have because and I will and I think I can because I'll be seeing those crime shows and they be like, well, I was at home, and he was cheating and I'm like, well, damn, like I think black women we are strong when it comes to like shit. We know we can survive without somebody. Like even if
But
we
that's
gotta
all
go
we
stay with
know.
family, we
That's
know
all we
we
know.
gonna survive. We know that. But
Absolutely.
sometimes it be them white women they be like crying, be like, I don't know what I'm gonna do because I didn't work when I met him. Like fuck that. A black woman, we gonna hold it down, brother. We gotta go to McDonald's and work. We gotta shovel shit. Like we gonna make it work
I'm
because
not
we
shoveling
showing
no
them like we
nickels.
don't. Well, we gonna make it work because you know
I'm
what
not
I'm
gonna
saying.
put up with shit, then turn around and shovel shit.
As long as you, and I'm not a prostitute. I ain't never, but is that I was told old school. Long as you got your poo poo, you got money. So we
Your
ain't gonna
pocketbook.
we right. Long as you got your pocketbook, you got money. Like we gonna make it happen. We gonna make it happen. I'm just saying that, and that's culture talking right
Okay.
there.
So, trauma bonding. This is unresolved trauma and childhood exposure to abuse can create patterns of normalizing dysfunction. That's what we talked about too. Like, if your son is going through some stuff, you got to kind of sometimes look at yourself like, damn, what did he see? So, and then the last thing, it says there are limited domestic violence shelters or services designed for Black women. I didn't even think about that. So, it's like,
Mm.
I must
I didn't
stay
know that
because what
either.
else am I going to do? Where am I going to go? Because
Right.
our community is not like white people's community or shit, even
Yeah.
Mexicans. You'll see 10 people, 10 Mexicans living together. But ain't no black people about to go, we might go
Mm-mm.
stay with our mama for a second, but she gonna put us out.
Right. Because I don't even want, once my kids turn 18, I don't even want them staying with me.
Good,
So,
you show said
damn well I can't bring other people in. But if I had to, I would, certain people. But nah, I'm like, go to a shelter, a homeless shelter.
to
Nah.
homeless. Shut your ass up,
No,
Monique.
but I do have one. They do say domestic violence rate go up 60% around football season. They
Which
did
I
say
can't
that.
understand. It's like
So
a
y'all
cheap wash
football.
with
So
sea
I know
salt.
not to like if I'm dating somebody and he a football fan, you ain't even gotta worry about me messing with you around football season. Especially if you like a ride or die football person. Like you ain't even gotta worry about it. Like you good, we good.
Baby, you gonna eat that last piece of chicken wing?
Right. Like we
You
good.
got it.
Shit. We yeah, I ain't saying nothing. You watching
Listen.
football.
That is, it's we laugh, but it's a really
Mhm.
unfortunate situation. It really is. Um, you want to talk
So,
about
but some
like,
of the questions,
yeah,
some of
get
the
to one of
questions
the
that we
questions.
had wrote down, we kind of like what makes a relationship toxic and why. I mean, why is it so hard to recognize when you're in one? But we kind of talked about that because you're blinded by different stuff or what he does to you, what he say to you, like especially if you're not used to certain things. If you
Mm.
met a man that's gonna wine and dine you, and then 2 years later he treats you like shit, like that. But it's different signs because he's courting you. Like we've seen it where your man can kick your ass, and then 2 minutes later he's buying you flowers or taking you somewhere or getting you a nice gift. Like, that's not love. Like, you just fucked me up and you want to bring me some flowers?
So yeah, no, you hit that on the head. You really did. Also, like, how are we not able to tell that the relationship is toxic? It's because sometimes we are healing through some childhood traumas, and you meet somebody who like really gets along with your inner child, but you're working to
Hmm.
heal
I
that inner
never thought
child.
about that. I
Yeah,
never
you're
thought about
working to
that.
heal that inner child. That's just like somebody that I used to date. It's like I realized as I started to heal, he became less and less appealing to me because when you came into my life, you were really like playing with my inner child and it felt really good. But
Hmm.
now I'm a woman and I have womanly needs and you're not meeting those, but you're doing everything that I needed from my childhood that I didn't see. So
And
it
that
felt
come with the
really
older
hard.
that you get too. And the older that you get, the more you're like, hold on, this don't look right.
Yeah. So I didn't realize it was
Hmm.
toxic because you still served a purpose. Like you came into my life and you really made me feel good in a certain area. But as I grow and I learn and I heal, you didn't appeal to that part of me anymore. It was a toxic thing
Hmm.
because you don't have nothing to do with the grown woman in me. It was just my kid and me.
And then sharing a story with, noticing it. So you meet somebody, and this is the experience that I experienced with someone. So you meet someone, and they're telling you everything that you want to hear, everything that you're looking for. This is perfect. So you kind of like, damn. Especially like me, my age, I want to meet someone. I'm ready to be with someone. I'm ready to be in a relationship. So when you get that from somebody, and then they're telling you these things, it's kind of like you don't care about the red flags.
Like
And I
my
wouldn't say I wouldn't so much care about them, but I was like, am I going to be able to deal with this? Like he told me, he was like, yeah, when we make it official, you're not going to be able to go to the store by yourself. I'm going to go with you. And I was like, what? Like, okay. And I was like, okay, like you can drive me. I'm trying to think of things that'll make me like, okay, well, you can drive me. Oh,
mm,
if you want to go, hang out with your girls, I don't mind you doing that, but I'm gonna take you. And then I'm like, okay, so I can have me some drinks. I'm thinking of things like,
yeah,
okay, this
you
is
do.
cool. So I'm like, okay, well, if you want to take me, then that's fine. And then we had a disagreement one day, and he told me, Monique, get the fuck out. And I was like, what? Like, like I'm crying, like we're having a disagreement. Why are you gonna tell me to get the fuck out? And so, he took my bags to the car. I left. He did text me, make sure I made it home. And, after
Because
everything,
you
cool,
missing a
go ahead.
part.
What?
What time did he tell you to get out? Because that's important.
Oh, it was like 9, 10 o'clock at night.
There you
And
go.
we lived like 30 minutes away from each other. So,
Only
but I
because
was
I
like,
knew.
okay, so I was like, okay, like I said, I was crying. I'm keeping real. I was crying because I'm like, damn, what the fuck? Like, put me out. So after things cooled down, and he said, Monique, I told you to leave because the old me would have fucked you up, and I couldn't fuck you up, and I wanted to fuck you up. So I was like, well, thank you for not fucking me up. I did say that because I'm like, thank you, but I know that you have that mind frame to fuck me up because I didn't think that it was that serious for you wanting to fuck me up. So I didn't know. But I am thankful that you didn't fuck me up. But then that was a big red sign right there. But I still stayed because we apologized. But as time went on, it was like, Monique, I'm going to knock your fucking head off. Okay, now you're telling me what you're going to do to me. Well, why would you want to knock my fucking head off? Like, that's not okay. And then when it got to be saying it a couple of times, I'm like, yeah. So still, I was like, okay, he just had a few drinks. It's fine. He's cool. The last straw, you asked to talk to me. I took my ass over there at 2, 3 in the morning for you to call me a bag of bitches and you to grab my face. You didn't hit me, but you grabbed my face. And that was right there, was like, okay, I see what you're on. So I left and didn't look back because at that moment, you you were just upset. Like, you the one that was cheating. You were the one that was doing things. And then you want to be mad at me and tell me you're going to knock my damn face off. All these things led up to that, even the controlling part. And I still was like, it didn't happen. But the fact that I was even okay with you even doing it and trying to make excuses because I want to be with somebody, fuck no. But the fact that you have that tendency to be that way, that was an eye opener for me. So I would never accept anything from anybody telling me anything like that. And I beat myself up because I'm like, how was I even going to be okay with that? Like, hell no. But you, like you said, we grow from things and we move on.
That's the biggest thing that keeps us in toxic relationships is us seeing the potential in people. So he said what he said. He showed you who he was. He apologized, and that's all you needed was the apology. And I'm not
Right. That's
saying
all you
that
need.
to like bash you because that's what we do. That's what we do as women. That's what I've done. So
It's like that apology. Like, I'm sorry, but how many times can you say that you're sorry because you don't mean it? You're sorry because I'm hurt and you know that's what I want you to say.
but
But what I
then
want you to do is not do it. Like,
you're
do
teaching
that.
him that he can say these things to let you know how far he can go, and you'll just accept an apology, and
Mhm.
he'll still be there. And we don't even realize that in the moment we're teaching him that it's okay.
Right. Even with agreeing to, like, oh, well, you can take me or you can. No, that's never okay because I want to drive my own self. Like, that's never okay. Making excuses right there because we make excuses for people's behavior and what people say to us. Like, we make excuses because we want it. But at the end of the day, that's just not your person. Nothing is supposed to be hard. Nothing, everything's supposed to be easy. It's not supposed to be hard. Like, no, like, I don't want to have doubts. I don't want to never. And I told him, I can't be with you because I can never be, I don't never want to be scared of somebody that I consider my lifetime partner. I never want to be scared of you. And I would be scared of you. I never want to be scared of you.
Safety is so important. I remember, well, not I remember because I just watched the show. So this big show right now is a hit forever on Netflix. Everybody's
Love
watching.
it. I finished it.
It is a great show. It has a lot of mixed reviews, and I can understand. But I'm a person who I kind of see past all the stuff, and I learned as a parent. Also learned as my child going through stuff because my child actually went through something very similar, except for she wasn't the person that I'll get into it for just a quick second. So I have a child who in high school, actually, no, at that time it was in middle school, which makes it worse. There was a picture being passed around of a girl who was naked, but it didn't show her face. It was just all body. My child came to me and said that a lot of people were saying that this is her because the person that it was had the same name as her. And so
Mm.
when she showed me the picture, even though I know my child from head to toe, I still was like, take the back of your shirt off. I want to see because on the picture it had a birthmark, whatever. I wanted to
Hmm.
see just to clarify, like this is not my
Right. Like,
child.
yeah.
And
Mm.
I looked at her and I saw that this wasn't my child. This man got a pizza. I was wondering if he was dropping it off here. My bad. Anyway, so no, this was not my child. And I understand that they had the same name, and she was the one who was getting the bad rep for this naked picture
Mm.
being passed around or whatever. And she had to like rebuild from that. And I remember going to my husband at the time, telling him what was going on because I didn't went up to the school. I want to talk to mamas. I want to talk to the principal. I'm bringing the police. Whatever it is, I'm here. Y'all gonna get my child's name out your motherfucking mouth, right?
Right.
So
Yeah.
that's what I'm on. And when I talked to my ex husband about that, what he did was he waited until she came home and called her a hoe. He called her a hoe.
No.
He said, if you were not acting like a hoe, nobody would think this is you.
What? Like, are you kidding me?
So you have a child who's not only broken because she thinks that everybody thinks that this is her character. Now you have the man that
Mm.
she lives with calling her out of her name. And me, as
Mm.
her
I am so
mother,
sorry.
people are
Wow.
looking at me like, why did you stay with a person like that? I was, if he called her a hoe, what you think he been calling me for years? anything
Right. And
under
that's,
the
yeah,
sun.
that's sad.
And eventually, as if you go back and look at what I looked like 6 years ago, baby, you wouldn't be able to recognize me. I look so different because I had no confidence. I was broken down to the ground. Like I was not myself. Like stop
Mhm.
asking these people why do they stay? They're not themselves if
Mhm.
they stay.
Right, that's true. Like, I think for me, like, I am so sorry. Like, I can only imagine. Like,
It was
I,
horrible.
but one thing I can say, I never like, and then sometimes people like, I wouldn't say I had low self esteem. I say because I thought that was right because you want to stay with the kids with your kid's father. You want that home. You want that, and that's what I wanted.
Yes.
But that's sad. Like that's heartbreaking, and I'm like, that's why I never ask nobody why you didn't stay, why you didn't leave, because sometimes people don't have the means to leave, or it's just hard. It's hard for
But
people to leave.
But that was the thing, though. Exactly what you said. There was plenty of times where I sat there and I asked myself, like, Taisha, like, why are you still here? But then I looked at it like I was a single parent of the first three because he walked away. So I'm like, I'm already a
Hmm.
single parent. Now I'm here, married. I'm pregnant and got another child here with this man. And he married me basically because I was pregnant. Do I want to give my two little children, who he's really good with because they belong to him, that same experience of having a broken home? But then even
Hmm.
my son, like I had to realize when he got older, he came to me. I remember one day he was just like, he was every bit of four. He was like, I can't wait for y'all to leave each other because y'all gonna die. It was that moment that my son said that I was just like, what the fuck am I still here for? Like, cause
Right.
I
I think
claim,
that
we
thing that make
claim,
you leave.
yeah, we claim like I'm here because of the kids. My son didn't even
Mhm.
want us to stay together because of how
And that be
toxic
the
our relationship.
thing. And that be the thing. Like because I've seen a couple things. The kids be like, "Why are y'all still together?"
I
Like
was
the
one of
kids
those
don't
kids.
even want you to stay.
My dad,
But we thought that we were doing the right thing by staying because we want that. We want that we want that home. We want that family. We want a two-parent home.
but I learned that when I was a kid because my dad stayed with my mom up until I graduated high school. The moment I moved out, when I turned 18, my dad left a week later. I was like, why did you wait until I graduated? He was like, because that's all I was waiting for. I did not want to stay with your mama. And I'm like, do you know that if you would have left 10 years ago, shit, I probably wouldn't have had the childhood that I had? Like, I didn't want
Right.
you to stay with her.
Right.
So,
But
yeah,
yes, it is
generational
really
trauma.
sad. And and touching on different stuff that I've seen in the media, like with the whole Chris Brown and Rihanna. Do we have anything else to cover with?
No, we can talk about that because
Okay.
have the
With
Diddy
I
trial
seen
this week.
today, Chris Brown, he was like, he told his story, what happened, and he did say they were in a little Lamborghini, and he did say she went through his phone. And I'm not saying it's right. And he said she hit him, and he was like, wait a minute, like, don't hit me. And she kept on hitting him. And he said it wasn't right. He said he hit her. He's like, you didn't fuck, you're like, you keep on hitting me. And he said when he seen that he busted her lip, she spit on him, spit the blood out on him. So he said that pissed him off more. And that's when I think he said he banged her head against the window. And then he said he got out, was like, like, this ain't right. I know I'm wrong. And then he said when CDs was around, he had his music on CDs, and she started scratching them with the keys because she wouldn't give the keys. He said so that made him even more angry. And then he said he did what he did, and he said he the next day he turned himself in. He said, I didn't take it to trial. I didn't try to fight it because I knew that I was wrong. He said in that moment, but I was upset. And that's what I mean by, taking accountability. Like, had he got out and just walked away, it would have been different. But he sat in that car and he allowed her to keep on doing stuff. Like she spit on him, you know. But as women, some women don't think like, I've seen, just growing up, I've seen women go and slash a man's tire, bust out windows. I've never done that, never, and I never will. Call their job, go to their house. I just don't have it in me. I've never been that person. Do I might have drove past somebody's house younger, but I've never busted out nobody's window, never called nobody's job, never just put my hands on someone, never called them, cussing them out. never done that. Have I ever done it? And nor will I ever will. I've been told you don't mess with nobody's car, you mess with nobody's house, you don't
Yeah,
call nobody's job. That's we work hard for that shit.
I don't do
Like
nothing on
I don't
that.
want nobody messing up. Right. I'm sorry. But that whole like he took accountability. He like I know that was wrong. He had a picture. He's like every time I look at that, I beat myself up about it. He said I was gonna take whatever came my way because I shouldn't have done that. But at the time I was young and I should not have been. I should not have put my hands on her.
That plays a huge part in it because I know a lot of people be like, if you're a domestic violence victim, why are you even accepting Chris Brown's apology? And it was because, like, yeah, age do got a lot to do with it. We don't know
Mhm.
shit at that. I mean,
For somebody to apologize,
they're celebrities.
that
They're
magnitude.
yeah. And it's like Rihanna is Rihanna, so it don't matter. Like whatever she said back then, it was gonna be. She had an army behind her. Chris Brown had an army behind him, but still, you putting hands on a woman, no matter what she did, he is gonna look like the bad person, regardless of what she did. But I appreciate the
Hmm.
fact that he took accountability for it.
I do too. And then I was watching this thing, switching gears. So you have what do they call those people? Jackal and Mr. Hyde, whatever they say, where you good on one part and you good on another part.
Mr.
So
Jackson.
yeah. So the show that I was watching now, the lady and her dad had went to jail because the parents was over there and he said that when he went upstairs, the husband was choking the wife. He
Mm-hmm.
said it was either me kill him or he kill us or whatever. So in hindsight, when I got it's on Netflix. It's on Netflix. I want you to watch it when you have time.
Okay.
So she basically, and I want you to tell me what you think about it. So she basically said that he was like beating her up and talking shit to her. Like, but everybody painted him as this perfect person at work, his family, everybody, the community, everybody, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that one night when her parents were spending the night over there, he was choking her. So she said, so they did find the wife and the husband, the wife and the dad guilty because they ended up killing the husband. So all of a sudden, oh, and then he had kids. She didn't have kids, but his first wife had passed away.
Oh,
So
I see.
even the
The
kids,
American Family.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So what was you finished all of it?
Yeah.
So what was your take? Because you see how she now, and this is just my point of view. Remember when she had the videotape, the video recorder hidden?
Yeah.
He to me, he didn't say anything that I felt like he was abusing her. I'm sorry.
And that's the thing, because it's absolutely correct that the person who knows that they have a video recording stashed somewhere, like they can control the
Mm.
narrative of the conversation.
Entice, that's what I was saying. She can entice that situation. But
Yes.
he didn't say anything that I felt like he was abusing her. Because all he did was basically tell the son to go upstairs, stop making a noise. He told her, leave me alone. He
But I
didn't
don't like
say
how he
nothing
talked to
really.
her though. That don't mean that he
I
was
mean,
abusing her, but I don't like
I
how he
didn't
talked
see
to her.
nothing wrong. He told her to leave him alone. And you see how she was trying to talk calm? I know that. I know she was yelling at him before she started recording. Like, you could tell.
Possibly, but
Like,
still, I don't like no. If this is my woman, this is my wife, and
hell
we a
no.
family, we taking care of these kids together. Like you got the
Mm-mm.
right to say, go upstairs, we're having a conversation. He was just like, no, don't go nowhere. But it's like you don't want your child to sit here and listen to y'all argue or have
But we don't know what happened before that either because she didn't even have a lot of recordings. Like to me, she was just she. To me, that's why I said. But we never want to believe that a woman is not getting abused. We never not want to believe that. But in this case, it's kind of like I don't know. Like I don't know. Like the recordings just didn't match with what she said he was doing. I was expecting like, bitch, get on the fucking ground or fuck you. I'm about to bang your head in. He didn't say that.
but there were times where I was just like, oh, I don't like how he said that.
We didn't watch the same one because I did not think that he was. I did not think that he was. That it was enough for him to say that he was abusing her.
He had some nasty sassy to him. I'll just say that.
Because look what
He
she
did.
was doing. But look what she was
But
doing.
again, that's why you can't really say who was really wrong in that situation because she knew she had recorders. So
Right, and she was doing half the shit. She was being calm, Like if somebody say, like, I'm sure Monique wasn't doing it. Bullshit. Y'all know I was yelling at his ass. Like y'all know I was yelling, you know? So it's kind of like you
But
never
shit,
not
it's
to
like
want to
telling the
believe
kids
her.
like he's beating me and I don't want y'all to say nothing because then
And
y'all
she
will get
was
taken away.
and then that's the thing right there. I couldn't. Now I didn't agree when they were saying, well, you know, how they was like, well, my mom said that my dad like was physically and but it's how you talk in your household. And they did have strong vocabulary, so I can't even say that the kids was even lying when they said it because they that's how you talk in your household.
That's like 12 and he would have said that same thing. He would have been like, no, it wasn't physical, but it was verbal. Like he would
Right.
have talked like that.
Right. And that's why I said you can't even really go by that. Like, you can't say that, but it's sad. Like, that's why I'm saying you never want to believe, but you do got people like that. They're good in front of their friends. They're good in the office. They're good in everybody. But when he get home, he can be a straight monster or a straight demon. Because
That's just
I've watched Monster Lives Here, and all these people said that he was good, but when he got home, he was a monster.
that's how it usually is though, because the bad person don't want to appear to be the bad person. That's how narcissists are. Like that quote where it
Hmm.
says narcissists would do whatever for the community. They'll go out of their way to make sure everybody is good, but then when they come home, it's like they are the worst person ever. That's what they do. That's their
And
identity.
that's sad. And
They
that's sad.
need for you to
And
see them a certain way. So when it comes up that they are this bad person, you be like, man, no, I ain't never seen that. That's why with the whole Diddy and Cassie trial going on, you
right,
got
I was just
so
about to bring
many
it up
people.
like that. That's really sad.
You
But
got so
my
many
thing
people
is,
saying that like they're blaming Cassie.
but and I'm not blaming her, but it is like at what point, because you left eventually. But
Yeah,
at one point, are you going to take accountability for the other stuff that you did? My thing is, that's fine. I don't think what Diddy did with sex trafficking and abusing her. That's the main thing. People worry about the wrong thing. Who gives a fuck how much baby lotion he bought? Baby oil. Who cares? Who cares if he wanted
you don't
cum
think he
rubbed
was
on his
sex
nipples?
trafficking?
That's what they said. Yeah, they said he was sex
No, I'm
trafficking. Yeah.
saying you don't think they were.
No, I said that's the main things that he should be take
Oh,
accountability for.
okay.
Sex
I was about to
trafficking and
say,
abuse. No, but the baby oil and if he won't come on his nipples, to me that's not that's not. I ain't heard them say nothing about the sex trafficking and him beating up Cassie. That is dead wrong. But his kids is in that courtroom. Who gives a fuck if
all
he
that. No,
wanted
no, no,
male
no, no,
male
no, no,
strippers?
no, no, no. If you're gonna be a bad
No,
person
no,
behind
I
closed
don't
doors,
agree
your
with
kids
that.
need to
I
know
don't
who you
agree. You ain't got
are.
to
No,
bring up that if he
I
wanted
agree.
sex parties.
I agree. Your kids need to know
No.
who you are. And the only reason why I say
Oh,
that is
yeah, yeah, I don't care about that. But I'm saying his kids, like, I just think people are focused on the wrong thing with him. Like, who gives a fuck if he has sex parties with baby oil? Like, that's not even. What about the
what
sex
do you mean?
trafficking?
Who cares? That's where the
I
trafficking
don't care
happened.
what he was doing with the baby oil. Who cares?
It's in the court documents what he was doing. He had minors, kids who could not consent
See,
to
I
the
didn't
things
get that. I didn't see that. I only thought that he wanted all the baby oil in tubs, and he got a
in
pool and hotels.
Astroglide. Yeah.
But Cassie had to put baby oil on the men. That's what I'm talking about. I don't know about the sex
No,
trafficking. You need to talk about that and his beating. His sex parties, if it wasn't no minors involved and
it
he
was.
wanted to come, but Cassie didn't say that she was picking up male strippers on Backpage and Craigslist. They were
She didn't.
underage. She didn't say they was
Oh, she didn't say they were
underage.
underage.
But
No,
that part and with the cum on the nipples, that's that man's business. Like, come on.
it's just to prove that like she did a lot of shit out of love that she didn't necessarily agree to. She did it. No, 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 no. I
I'm
refuse.
sorry. I
No,
don't.
no. You listen,
Mm-mm.
listen, viewers,
Mm-mm.
y'all gonna see me and Monique argue for the first fucking time. Listen,
Mm-mm. We don't agree.
yeah, because sometimes when you are loving a man and he's manipulating you and he's a fucking narcissist and you believe half the shit that he says, you end up
Mm-mm.
doing shit that you
So
don't
you gonna be
necessarily
doing
want to
shit, going to
do
go
to him.
pick up underage kids for him? Fuck
I
that.
absolutely would not. But you got to
That's
also
what I'm saying.
understand.
You gotta take
Listen,
accountability.
no,
She's not.
Monique, no. I am 39 years old. That baby was 17 when she started fucking around with that man, or
You
19, one of those.
right. So you would go pick up no, you would go pick up underage kids. You grew up out of those years. Fuck that. I didn't know about she
She
was picking
might
up
have.
underage kids.
She was
I
a
didn't know
child.
she. No, I said I didn't know she was picking up underage kids. I didn't see that part. I
Monique,
don't watch it. I
I'm
don't
gonna
watch
need
it.
you to
The
listen
part,
to the fucking trial
no,
before
I
you
just
have
think
a
it's
conversation.
disgusting. I think it's disgusting.
It
I
is.
don't. I don't
Oh,
watch it. I just see the stuff that they talk about on Facebook and stuff. I
yeah.
don't know if it's true or not, but they need to focus on the real stuff. Him abusing that girl, what he made her do, and the sex trafficking. How much baby oil his ass had. That don't matter.
It's relevant because it had Astroglide in the baby oil. But she put the pool, the blow up pool, filled it up with baby oil, put Astroglide in there. This girl said she had sores in her mouth because of how much she was
Seen
using
that,
it. She had UTIs every fucking week because of how
and
much
that's
she was. Listen, no, Mom,
I
that's
seen it.
important.
I'm not saying it's not.
I'm
I'm
about to
not
edit
saying I
you
don't
out.
agree with her. I'm not saying I don't agree. I did. I said whatever he was doing with Cassie, talk about that and sex trafficking. When it comes to, but why did they have to say he had thousands of bottles of baby oil? Like that's
Because it
irrelevant.
matters.
That's stupid to me.
It's
And
not
crumb on the
stupid. He
nipples,
was putting
that's
drugs
stupid.
in the
I
baby
don't
oil.
watch it. I don't watch it. Like I said, we can agree to disagree on it. I don't agree with some of the stuff that they could have left out. That's fine. They got to build the case up because I've had the same conversation with my
That's
cousins.
because
But at
Monique
some
don't know what's
point,
going on.
you're right. But the stuff that I do see, I'm like, damn, come on. Like, I
It's
don't
all
agree with
relevant.
what Puffy. Let me just say this because I don't want nobody to be slandering me, but I don't agree with Puff Daddy did when it comes to certain things that people were talking about, like how much baby oil he bought and his sex parties without underage kids. I just don't think that that's irrelevant. Like if I want to have a fucking swingers party and then people send me to jail for killing somebody, why the fuck would that matter what I was doing with my sexual life? I wasn't fucking kids. That's it.
Moving on, because we literally got minutes left.
Yeah.
Did you hear about DDG and Halle Bailey?
I don't know who DDG is.
Girl, do you know who Halle Bailey is? Chloe Bailey's sister, the
Yeah,
mermaid.
I know them too.
Okay, so Halle Bailey, she
Hold
has
on, who's DDG?
that's her baby daddy.
I know she has a kid's father, but I don't know his name.
Yeah, because all kids have a father, right? That's biologically.
No, I'm saying I know she has a kid's father, but I don't know his name. Like I don't know nothing about him.
So it's DDG. So he's a wannabe rapper. Um,
Oh, okay.
but at the same time, it just came out that like he had been abusing physically Halle, and she
Oh,
had like bruises and stuff on her. She's finally putting out her story and whatever, whatever. And like a lot of people, well, no, actually, I think I kind of like the direction that that story is panning out because they're looking at DDG like fuck him, and they're actually believing Halle. But
mhm.
before in previous like months, we were looking at Halle like she was crazy because she was putting out posts talking about don't you put my son on Twitch or on stream, whatever, without asking me
See,
or
I don't follow her, so I didn't know none of this was going on.
she came across as like this bitter baby mama who just didn't want her son to have anything to do with what DDG had going on. Like she looked like she was trying to hinder him from being like a great dad, but in reality,
Hmm.
we don't
Oh,
know what happened until now because she's just now putting her story out there. So now
hmm.
everybody is siding with her and saying fuck DDG. But it's like when Cat Williams said all this shit was gonna come to the forefront, Hollywood was gonna fall. Like we called him crazy.
Yeah,
But
it is a lot of shit that's happening, and it's
okay,
unfortunate and it's sad. Like, but again, this all goes to that red flags, the toxicity of things, everything. It all falls under that. It's kind of
yeah,
like we're not just not normal women is getting abused. You have celebrities that are getting abused too,
absolutely.
and no abuse is good abuse, whether it's verbal, physically, mentally. All that is abuse. Like nothing is better than the other. Nothing is greater than the other. One may hurt more than the other, but it's still the same. Like
Yeah.
abuse is never okay. And I don't. We laughed and we talked. We agree to disagree on certain things, but at the end of the day, abuse is never okay. No man should never put his hands on you in, under any circumstances. And even talking, I can refrain from telling my son like, "Well, don't hit her. Just leave." But I don't ever want him to I never want him to put his hands on a woman. Never. I'm never make that okay. Like, but again, it had to lead up to that point, because if you feel like it's getting there and he's yelling at you and cussing at you, it's time to go, because it's not going to get no better. It's not going to get no better. It's going to
Yes.
get worse. Like, I'll share one other thing. Me and an ex, we dated. We never yelled at each other. We never talked crazy to each other. Never, out of the almost 3 years that we were together. But I knew that before he had, where he put his hands on,
Mm.
his, a long time ago. And that one time that he yelled at me, I hung up on him, because I'm like, we don't talk like that to each other. So in my mind, when he came to my house, I'm like, oh shit, like I know he, he has this. But when he came, he was like, I want to talk to you. He was like, I apologize for yelling at you. I said, yeah, because we don't talk like that to each other. So you had a moment, and that's fine. But he never yelled at me again after that. And that was the first and last time. That's why you have boundaries, because we say that you have to set boundaries. Like, you got to show people how to treat you. And I never thought that. I never thought that, even till I just realized that. I want to say probably last year, where you have to show people how to treat you. And I now I understand you do. You set the tone of whatever you got going on. Like,
Yep.
you set that tone for that relationship. So when somebody like say, I'm gonna fucking knock your head off, bye
Believe,
bye. You're not gonna knock my fucking head off.
believe
Like, who
them though.
would talk like that? Right, right. And I remember, I don't know if it was Maury or Jerry Springer. They said when somebody say that they're gonna kill you, they may not do it now, but they're gonna do it, because don't nobody play like that. No, nobody plays like that and say, I'm gonna kill you. Nobody plays like that. So it's like, time to go. That's all I have for today.
I will end it by saying seek help
Yeah,
because
we left the number, right?
yes, all of that will be to
Okay.
come. But just seek help. I think
Yeah.
that therapy works wonders. I'm an advocate of that. And
Well, yeah, I'm an advocate too. Therapy is great. Who cares if somebody laugh at you for going? Everybody that I know, nobody. I have a support system. If you think you don't need it, you do. Some people do need it, but hey, you do what works for you. I mean, and even if you're having trouble with deciding things, I mean, I think our inbox is open. We can't. I'm not gonna come and get you, but I mean, I can give you like pointers or something. But if you just need to reach out somebody to talk to, we can be that person, and everything will be private. We will never discuss anything, but we're here if you need it. You know, man
just
or woman,
just know that you're not alone. So
right?
that's all that
And
I
you're
have.
looking at two women right here. One was verbally, and one has it physical. And look at us today. We're smiling. We're living life, and
And I ain't never doing that shit no more.
exactly. Yeah, never. Well, you want to talk about the next episode, and then we'll get out of here.
All I have to say is tune in to the next episode. We are going to be talking about the audacity of dating with intention. So, you know, are we
And
dating
don't
to
forget,
get married, or are we dating just because that's
for
what
fun.
people think is cool these days?
Don't forget to please like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for people that do it weekly, that listen to us. Again, if you want to talk about a next topic, feel free to hit us up and let us know. And thank you for joining us. Bye.
Bye, y'all. Bye, girl.
Bye.